Hi, welcome back to the Stina Show. Happy Thursday, everybody. Tonight's guest is Carrie Carlisle, who is an artist and singer, and happy to have her on. The usual thing, ask questions, comments in the box below. And Carrie, I see ya. Welcome. And let's do this. Okay, I'm going to add you here. What is another matrix situation? Hello. I know it's trying to connect because there's always like this little glitch that happens. Carrie, are you out there? Carrie. Okay, so something's going on. But anyways, welcome. Hey, there
Hello.
she is. What's up?
Nothing much. How are you?
Good, you made it. I'm happy you made it through the matrix.
Yay.
How are you, Carrie? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm doing great.
And where are you right now, Carrie?
Nashville.
Nashville. That's a really good place. There's a lot of music in Nashville.
Yep, that's for sure.
And I know I always like to give Jill the shout out because she connects me with you guys, and you love her, right? She's amazing.
Oh yeah, no, Jill's great. Both her and TJ.
Yes, yeah, you got a good team, friend.
Yep.
So, and then that's in Nashville too. Are you from Nashville?
No, I grew up in the Memphis area, and I actually, can you see me okay? There we
Perfect.
go. There we
Yes,
go.
yes,
Sorry.
girl.
I wanted to make sure it was at a good angle.
You
Okay.
you made it perfect.
Okay, yeah. So I actually went over to the School for the Blind in Nashville a couple years ago, and I ended up coming to school here like for college, and the rest is history. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, history we're gonna get into. When you were a little baby, Carrie, did you know you wanted to get into music and performing?
Well, I've always loved to sing, but I really didn't, have any for like interest in getting into music until college. When I was super little, I wanted to be an astronaut. And then for the longest time,
That's
over
awesome.
throughout middle and high school, I wanted to go into special ed and I wanted to open up a horse ranch for special needs children. Um, that's what I was going to do for years. And I ended up starting out in college as a special ed major, and I don't know, just something just didn't feel right. I was looking into, what it would take to do something like that, and it was hours, and it was just spending money to make less money than I was spending. And as much as I love horses and special needs children, I just was like, I don't think this is the right path I'm going to go down. But I did music as an elective, of course, and I did voice and everything like that. And I fell in love with the music department here at Trevecca. That's where I'm at now. I'm about to graduate.
Nice.
And I was like, maybe I should be a music teacher, so that way I can still get into music, and then I don't know, just something wasn't right. After a while, I thought I wanted to be a teacher, but a lot of people were like, why don't you like try to get into the music business? I mean, not that you wouldn't be a great teacher. It's just, I think you belong more on the performance and the business side more than you do on the teaching side. And yeah, and I was like, well, after a few like field experiences and everything, they're like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, they're probably right. So yeah, no, so I ended up doing commercial music with a minor in music business.
Wow, nice. And you could do, I mean, you could really do that anywhere,
Yeah.
anywhere in the world, probably.
Oh, yeah, I know, electronically, yeah. And, and I always tell people, if I can't, make it into being an artist, I really want to still be involved in the industry. So that's why I'm really trying to pay bills and get a job here. So,
That's the artist's way. Unfortunately, we still have to find a way to pay the bill.
oh, yeah, exactly.
But as long as you keep singing, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So do you come from a family, anyone in your family musical, or did they show you music growing up?
So I've grown up in a family with music lovers, but I didn't really grow up in a family of music players. You know what I mean? Like, I was the only one in my family that showed any interest in instruments and singing and everything like that. And so, of course, the moment I was old enough to be in voice lessons, which I think I was about 4 years old when I started.
Oh,
They put me, they
cute.
put me in singing lessons. But yeah, no, my mom was the one who really got me into country music. So she would introduce me to the Dixie Chicks, George Strait, Patsy Cline, Reba McEntire, Trisha Yearwood, all the
Wow.
great.
Yeah, you're
And
just hitting them out of the park here.
exactly, yeah. But I was also introduced to, Bon Jovi, Prince, Elvis, of course, because I've grown up in the Memphis area, so can't be a musician without being exposed to Elvis and, a handful of others. So I've grown up um, listening to a lot of different genres, and they've definitely helped me um, grow my love for music for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. You got a great inspirations. A good mom there, huh?
Exactly. Yes.
Wow, so you're 4 years old. That's so young.
I know. I don't really remember a whole lot of it, really.
What other did you do other performance growing up, like theater in school or things like that?
I did. Yeah, so in middle school, oh my gosh. This is so cringeworthy.
No.
I did Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, and I was Mrs. Bucket.
So were you in like a bed or something? Like how did that play out?
So yeah, no, I was actually in middle school band for about 1 year. And I did the drums. Yeah, I played the drums.
Oh.
Yeah. So I did that for about a year, and then I switched to chorus because when I started at the School for the Blind, I wasn't allowed to join chorus up until um high school, which was very strange. But yeah, no, it's okay. I got lots of exposure and I got to try something different. So
Well, yeah, I
it's
think
all
that
good.
that makes us well-rounded is to do as much as we can.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that's cool. Wow, so your drum percussion. Nice.
Small
Wow,
part of my life, but yeah.
that's cool. So, all right. So then you grew up and you're like, I'm gonna do this thing professionally. And
Yeah.
and you grew up in Tennessee, you said, right?
Mhm. Yes,
And
ma'am.
how was that? How was that? I mean, obviously Elvis shaped you a lot, but in general, did you like it? Is it a good place?
Yeah. Obviously, you get bad apples everywhere. Not all of it was wonderful, but I had a good upbringing and a good childhood, and and it was. I liked it.
Um,
So.
We have a few comments. We have requests asking for you to sing for Hope for America, but we'll do that later.
Okay.
Mackenzie, all right?
Okay. She's a friend of mine.
Oh, she's sweet. She's very sweet. All right. So would you say, besides maybe including your mom and other artists, do you have current and past influences or inspiration?
Oh yeah, so I would definitely have to give out a shout out to the music department here at Trevecca because I mean Trevecca is a small place and it may not be as flashy as Belmont or Berkeley, but I have been able to grow so much as a musician and I can literally come up to any of them and ask for help and they would help, with anything. And they're just like, oh my gosh, they're all just absolutely wonderful. And I couldn't have asked for a better music department and a better place to have grown as a musician. So I'd have to say for sure the music staff here at Trevecca. For those of you who are looking for a music place, I'd recommend Trevecca 100%. So I have to recruit some people. And for music business as well. Definitely, who else? I would have to say, is it like artists or like people I know?
Anything, anyone in the whole universe.
Yeah, sure. So I definitely want to say a lady named Georgette C. She was my voice teacher over at the School for the Blind, and she's the one who actually encouraged me to go into music. So I have to give her a shout out because I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have done any of this if it wasn't for her. And then Reba McEntire. I mean, I don't know her, obviously. It'd be cool if I did. So.
You will, one day at a time.
But she's been a huge influence, and oh my gosh, oh goodness. Even if she's no longer with us, Patsy Cline has been a huge influence. I've gotten to learn a lot of like my technique and stuff from her.
Nice.
So that's been really cool. I feel like my voice not necessarily sounds like her, but like resonates with her, if that makes any sense.
I love her, yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
Crazy, right? She sings Crazy. Is that one of her songs?
Yeah, ma'am, it's crazy.
Crazy. That's a good song.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. So you got some good people supporting you and your cheerleaders over there.
Yes.
So do you mind if I ask, are you partially unable to see or?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to put this as simply as I can because it's actually really complicated. So I was born with this super rare eye condition called aniridia. And basically what that means is it's absence of the iris, which is the colored part of your eye. And a lot of people don't realize that the iris is actually a muscle that protects the back of your eye. And so everybody knows when you go into sunlight, the pupil stretches out. Well, I don't have that. I don't have that muscle. And so when I go into sunlight, it's excruciatingly painful. So if you ever see me outside, 9 times out of 10, I've got on sunglasses. And I also have glaucoma, which y'all probably know. That's increased eye pressure in the eye. So I have to get that checked out and get my eye pressures checked every 3 or 4 months or so. And so, yeah, I have no depth perception and I can't see, depending on an object, I can only see about maybe 20 feet in front of me. And I have a guide dog as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear. So you can see a little. That's great.
Oh yeah, I can see a little bit. I can see enough to do some good.
That's awesome. I mean, God bless you. It's interesting. I didn't know, obviously, I didn't know that was a thing, the muscle in the eye. But so you're just very sensitive, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you have a dog? Where's the dog?
Where is my dog? Gillette!
Jolette. Stop. Oh,
Probably
she's
on my futon, hanging out.
she knows.
But
She's like, I'm leaving you alone, Ma.
I know she's camera shy.
Maybe later. What's her name again? Jolette?
Yes. We
Maybe
call
she
her
can make an
JoJo
appearance.
short.
Oh, good girl, Jojo. So you say you want to be a teacher, right? Or you wanted to be, or you
I
might.
wanted to be at first, yes. And I still love the idea of teaching. Um, and maybe that could be something because the cool thing is I'm applying to be a teacher aide over at my old high school. So
Nice.
I'm hoping that that works out because I'll have benefits and I'll get a decent paycheck and I'll still get to do gigs and stuff, which would be really, really nice. So I'm hoping I get that.
I hope you get it too. Break a leg.
Thank you. Yeah, no. I don't hate the idea of teaching, but to be a full-blown teacher, I just don't think is an option right now. So,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
part-time gigs only, right? That I agree with that.
Mm.
Well, I brought up teaching because I know you got some pro tips or beginner advice to how did you just decide you're like, I'm gonna do this? And what beginner tips do you have?
Yeah, so one I would highly recommend is I'd find a mentor, someone that has a basic knowledge of the music industry, someone that really has your best interest at heart, somebody that's a friend, at first. You know what I mean? Um,
They
that
won't
that
guide you, and they won't
yeah,
guide you
they're
the
going to
wrong way.
guide you the best way they know how. And, you know, that would be my number one. Second, practice. Practice, 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 practice. I don't care if your fingers bleed. Put band-aids on them and keep going. Um, you're going to
Great.
hear a lot of no's in this industry. But I was always taught that the right sometimes a no really just means not yet. So I don't know. Say you really want a gig. Say you really want to go to the Bluebird, per se. And sometimes either they're full, they don't need anybody, or sometimes you're just not what they're looking for. And, you know, and that's okay. And that just leads you to the right place where you know where you're going to be treated well because that's the best thing. And my third is remember where you came from, remember your roots. And my fourth would be to try to take a music business course if you
Yes.
can.
Nice.
You don't have to be an expert. I mean, that's my minor. And I kind of wish I had done a double major in music business because I didn't know how interesting for me it was and how much I was going to really love, learning about it because there's more to it than accounting and spreadsheets. I mean, there's more to it, and it's actually really interesting. So you might really love that, and you could do what I do is, if the whole artist thing doesn't work out, try to worm your way in to try to get an internship, at a management or a record label, because that's the best way to find jobs. So that's probably my best advice.
And that's music, and that's if you have a passion for music, do these things and
Exactly.
take the steps. Don't just talk about it, do it.
Right.
And so what's this, the Bluebird? Is this a fun venue out there or what?
Yeah, so no, the Bluebird is basically it's a restaurant here in town, and they do like open mics, and it's really cool. It's pretty famous. I haven't gotten to go on there yet. I've been pretty busy, and because of COVID and everything, I really haven't been doing a whole lot of gigging, but I'm hoping that'll change here in the next few months or so. So,
Things are finally starting to. I'm gonna cross my fingers here.
I know.
And knock on the woods. Um,
Yes.
so what's your favorite instrument? I mean, besides the drums, of course.
Well, I'm not, I mean, I play a little bit of piano. I've played a little bit of violin. That's probably my favorite instrument to listen to. I used to play violin back in the day, like in middle school, like before TSB. And I played the drums for a super short period of time. I missed my violin. It was my very first year, and I told the band director, I was like, I really miss my violin. Would it be all right if I brought it and played it? And he's like, sure. So I technically got to play the violin for 3 years, and I've been begging my grandma. I've been begging her for like, oh gosh, 2 years before she finally went out and bought me a violin and signed me up for lessons. And I was so happy. I was so excited.
Oh.
So that was really cool. I've always wanted to play the guitar, but my joints and my arms are dislocated, like around my elbows, and so it's really hard for me to turn my hand this way. So I was never able to play the guitar, but I've always loved the guitar. I've always loved people, like watching people play the guitar. So,
Well,
I
the violin is a small guitar, right?
yeah, kind of. Yeah, when I did play the violin, a lot of people hold it this way. Well, I couldn't. Wait, can you see me at all? There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
They could play it this way. I could play it this way.
Mm,
So it was really interesting, but you can't really do that on a guitar because that's
too
awkward.
too much.
It's a very awkward way to hold a guitar.
Maybe a ukulele or something.
Maybe. I don't know. I like that instrument too. It's always so happy sounding.
It is. I always feel like I'm in Hawaii, right?
Yes.
So, what is the Mid-State Horner Choir?
Oh, Miss State Honor Choir? Yeah, sure. So, oh my gosh, it was one of the
Oh, is it
most.
Honor Choir? I read.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Um,
It's okay. It's all right.
it's okay.
I read it
It's
somewhere.
fine.
That's all I know.
It's fine. So, Honor Choir, it was the neatest thing I've probably ever done. So, so there's a division in each division of Tennessee. So you got West Tennessee, you got Middle Tennessee, and you got East Tennessee, right? Well, anyway, it was so cool. So basically, you went through your school and you learned a bunch of because a lot of people don't know this. I'm classically trained. So I used to do a lot of like arias and stuff like that. I got to do some opera, some classical music. And that's really helped me grow as a singer. A lot of people don't know that a lot of artists start out as classical singers, which is really great because that's the foundation for everything.
Yeah.
And so basically, what it is in simple terms is you go and you learn, say maybe 5 or 6 pieces of music. And what they do is you learn the whole song, and then whoever's in charge of these, well, for now, let's say it's the Middle Tennessee Vocal Association, whoever's in charge of auditions picks one of the songs for you to learn to audition, or excuse me, no, 2 of them. And basically what happens is that you go into a room with a curtain in front of you, and you go and you sing a small portion of that song. And then if you make it through, you get to learn the rest of the songs that the choir director picks out, and you get to not only miss school for an entire day, but you get to sing in this huge choir with extremely talented musicians. And there's even a, I never got to do it. I was nominated for it, but something happened and I wasn't able to do it. But there's an all state where it's basically like everybody in the state of Tennessee gets to, go in one space and we sing and we perform, and it's a wonderful experience.
How many people are in the choir? What's huge? What kind of number is that?
Oh God. Uh, mm, it I think it kind of depends. So like on who like gets through and how many people are from like each school. I would say maybe at least 300 or 400 people in one choir.
Wow.
Most, it may have been more and it may not have been that much, but it's pretty big.
That's huge. Yeah, that is huge. Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. Well, congratulations. That's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I miss those days. Uh, but yeah.
I see. I mean, just throwing it out there, but you have these other interviews on like Hometown Country Music website and
Hmm.
what's TMI? TMI chats with Carrie Carlisle.
I'm sorry, what?
TMI? Oh, Teen Music Insider.
Oh gosh. That must have been a long time ago. I'm not, huh.
It was last year that came out.
Oh yeah. If it
You
was
don't
last, a lot's happened last year.
Well, I just found these articles. I think they look good.
Oh, gotcha.
You're
Yeah.
so funny. You're busy. That's good. You're busy. Um,
Yeah. Thank you.
that's awesome. Oh wow, I just heard lightning. Start.
Oh, is it raining where you are?
Yeah, no, like I just saw lightning and it flashed really and it shook the house. So if I survive
Woo!
this call, God bless. So all right. So what Trevecca Nazarene? Did you have to audition for this school or?
Yeah, I had to audition to get into the music department. Yes, ma'am, I did.
Oh, so that's wow. So that's another win. You had to audition and got through those doors.
Yes, I had to have one classical piece and one commercial piece.
So do you sing standards as well? Yes, obviously, right?
Like jazz standards?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yes. What are some of your favorites?
Oh gosh. I'm getting so I'm doing basically like all like my music stuff is like done, but I'm still doing elective stuff because I want to learn more. I got to do Misty by
I love
Elevation.
Misty. It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, and then I'm doing Fly Me to the Moon
Of
and
course.
Cry Me a River. And one of my, oh gosh, probably my personal favorite jazz standard, Autumn Leaves, and I do the Eva Cassidy version.
Wow. Oh, I love. Are these online somewhere? I could find them or?
No, because of like copyright issues. But like, if
Oh,
someone
okay.
asks me to do like a jazz standard, I have a few under my belt.
That's cool. Those are good ones too.
Yes.
I mean, in a minute or so, would you want to sing for us? We have this request that keeps coming through.
Yeah.
A Hope for America, if you want to. It's
Yeah.
however
Sure.
you. I loved what I heard on Spotify. So
Thank you. I'm so glad, everybody. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from this. And I first heard that, and I was like, man, that's a really good song. I'd love to, record that. And the songwriter was super nice. His name is Steve Wiggins, and he's over in Memphis. And he's like, absolutely, go for it. So yeah, it's great. It's a great message.
Do you want to sing? Are you ready to sing? Do you want to
Yeah,
sing?
give me 1 second. Let me pull it
Yeah,
up.
sure. Hope for America. Thank you for offering.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me 1 second.
We can use some hope for America. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we sure could. Okay, now this is going to be coming from my phone, so hopefully y'all can hear it, but my phone's pretty loud.
Okay. I'm gonna sit to the side and watch, okay?
I'm sorry, what?
I'm just gonna stay right here. I don't like to be on camera when people perform.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
Well,
I'm
could
right
you
here
hear
though.
that okay? Could you hear that okay?
Yes, I think
Music?
so. Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll just go with it then. It's on full blast.
It sounds good.
Everybody's searching for the same thing. From the concrete jungle to the Midwest plains, there's a hunger inside that drives us on, looking for a place that feels like home. What we need is hope, hope that can heal our land, hope in the Father's love, found in the Savior's hand. What we need is hope. God, shed your grace on us. In you alone we trust. Hope for America. If we come together on our knees and pray, turn our backs on all our wicked ways, the Father has promised to forgive and restore. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. What we need is hope, hope that can heal our land, hope in the Father's love, found in the Savior's hand. What we need is hope. God, shed your grace on us. In you alone we trust. Hope for America. Home is where your heart is. Your heart is where your hope is. Put your trust in Jesus and you'll never be alone. Home is where your heart is. Your heart is where your hope is. Put your trust in Jesus and you'll never be alone. Home is where your heart is. Your heart is where your hope is. Put your trust in Jesus and you'll never be alone. No matter where you go, you'll always have his hope. What we need is hope, hope that can heal our land, hope in the Father's love, found in the Savior's hand. What we need is hope. God, shed your grace on us. In you alone we trust. Hope for America.
Wow.
I hope y'all heard that okay.
It was perfect. And you have such a powerful voice.
Oh,
I was almost crying just because of your voice. I don't know if you get that, but you do have one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard, and I've heard a lot of voices.
thank you.
Yeah, and that's an honest. I'm just trying not to cry at this point. You really keep going. I mean, when I heard it on Spotify, I was blown away, and I was like, let's see how she does live, and it was the same thing. Very, very talented girl. Very,
Oh,
thank you
you.
for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
I need a cigarette.
Oh.
Wow, thank you. Wow, so Hope for America. That was a cover song, right?
Yes, technically, yes, it was. It was recorded way back in the 80s by, I think it was the 80s or 90s, by a band called Big Tent Revival. And they were just like, I think like an indie kind of Christian rock, country-ish kind of band, but they did other stuff. And Steve Wiggins did the songwriting for them. And, my
Oh.
family and I were looking for songwriters, and a family friend actually recommended Steve Wiggins. So that's how we met, and that's how I got to record.
Oh, so you did his song. It was his song essentially.
Yes.
Wow. So are you writing your own stuff now? How is this
So,
inspiring you for that?
yeah, so honestly, I have a really good idea for a song, and, I don't want to it's based off a poem, and because of copyright reasons, I don't really want to say the name of the
No.
poem or anything like that. I can send it to you like in a picture, and you can post it if you want. It's a really great poem.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's basically about life unfortunately doesn't always turn out the way you plan, but that can lead to something just as good, if not better. And unfortunately, I've never been a big like songwriter girl, and I wish I have, and I've always admired people who have. So I'm hoping to maybe find some people to buddy up with. That'd be really great, because I definitely want to run this idea by them and see what they can do with it.
I think you should tell Jill that because she has such a pool of talent and they would love to team up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll just come out there and have you all at dinner at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's so many people that want to collaborate. It's just the action and the scheduling.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But that's awesome. Yeah, send me the poem later. I'd love to.
Yeah. So it's actually in the perspective of like a special needs parent trying to um trying to get people to see what it's like to raise a special needs child, but I think it's really good for multiple scenarios. And you'll see that when you read it.
Aw.
So,
Well, speaking of, I mean, this is probably not where it's coming from, and I bounce around with questions, but do you have a deep quote and or enlightenment experience to share with the audience?
uh, like,
Or unless it's from the poem, anything.
um, you know, growing up, I always knew I was different, and I was always taught, you know, you can always live a semi regular life. And actually, no, let me rephrase that. You can live a regular life. Like, I know a blind guy who is a lawyer, and there's a blind woman. You can look her up. Her name's Christine. She won Master Chef. She goes all over the world and just cooks all this amazing food. I don't know her. But I love to eat and cook, so I think we'd get along really great. Yeah, but she won Master Chef. And I mean, shoot, there was, you know, oh man, like I mean, unfortunately, when you're blind, unfortunately, there are things you just can't do. Can't be a mechanic. Can't be a heart surgeon. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
I mean, I got to meet one blind guy that worked for NASA. I don't think he's ever seen anything. I think he grew up blind. I'm not exactly sure. I don't even remember the guy's name, but he was just the smartest person I think I've ever met.
Wow.
Literally. And I was like, wow, this dude's blind and he works for NASA and gets to work with these really smart, intimidating, and really cool people.
Right.
and, but yeah, no. Um, but I hope this answers your question.
No,
Uh,
yeah, keep going. I hear it. Yeah.
yeah, but one thing that I was always taught is, you're going to unfortunately hear a lot of you can'ts. And that's mainly because of people that are just not educated. Or, and it can be different scenarios, and people just don't know. And that's okay, because then you get to teach them. And they'll learn from it, and then hopefully so will I. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, no. So basically life's all about lessons,
It
and the strongest ones come from, I would say, the difficulties, not difficulties, but the challenges that face us.
is.
And you were put on this path for a reason,
I was.
and you seem to be finding your purpose through all the challenges, and that's really awesome to witness.
Yeah, thank you so much. That means a lot. I'm
Oh.
not, I'm, for those of you who are tuning in, I'm not smiling all the time. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, life's hard. I went through a lot to get to where I am today. Uh, it's not all roses and rainbows and butterflies and oh, this is just so wonderful. Yeah, no, it's actually been very hard, but you know, you learn to, you learn to appreciate the outcome more than you did. But no, let me rephrase that. You learn to appreciate the journey. I read if you haven't read it, it's a book called One Wave at a Time, and it was based on a true story. But it's about this couple that lived off of like the grid, basically, and they traveled all over. And you know, his wife. Like I remember, like in the back, it'll tell you a little bit about the author, and it was like his wife was saying, the end goal is great, but the journey's greater. And I was like, man, that's great. I love that. I'm gonna save that one for sure.
I love that, because if you think about your journey at this point, it's like every future idea you had never really happened, right? All
Right.
your like fantasies and ideas. But if you're staying as present as possible, you can really heighten your experience rather than project it onto some future.
That's right.
So, I mean, for you, I feel that the voice, your I can hear the purity in your voice because of how strong you've become through all of it, and how you stayed grounded, considering you're not bitter. You sound pure. That's why I think your voice is so beautiful and powerful, is because you're, with all this stuff trying to crush you, you still just like shine, literally shine through.
Thank you.
I feel that, and it shows character, and the voice is the character, right? And keep, whoever that teacher was that told you to go on that path, I'm happy they did that, because
Yeah, I'm happy
they're a good person.
too.
They're a good person. So do you invite your families to these shows? Are they local and everything? Can everyone come see you out there?
Yeah. So in Nashville, I don't have any family in Nashville, unfortunately, but every once in a while they'll come up for a gig. I haven't really done, oh gosh, I haven't done any in so long. There really hasn't been anybody to invite anything to. Um, so, I mean, yeah, I do a lot. My gigs in Memphis, my family does come for sure.
That's great. Oh,
So,
okay. How far is that? It's far.
it's about 3.5 to 4 hours away, so it's not too bad.
No, it's not the worst, but it is a day trip. It's a 2 day
Yeah,
trip.
I have an aunt that can actually make the drive in two.
Oh, good. So you have some close. That's good.
Yeah,
And you're going to school there, right? So you have your school friends and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. So what kind of future goals do you have, Miss Carrie?
Um, well, of course, I would love to get a record deal and be involved in the music industry. And, I have to, it's just one of those things where I kind of have to let God, kind of take care of that. I mean, I can try to control it, but at the end of the day, I have to, see where, that goes. Um, so obviously that's plan A. And, I'm applying to be that, teacher aide. So I'm really hoping I can do that as well, because that's something fulfilling and that would be something I would love. And I could still do music. And so that would be super great. Um,
Well, well, I think.
and
Oh, go ahead.
oh yeah, and then and obviously plan B, try to get a job over at a record label and just work my way up. Just in case that doesn't work, because regardless, I still really want to be in the industry, because that's where I feel like I could really like you know
Well,
real
you are in the industry. And
not quite.
you are. I mean, it sounds like that's all you do, which means you're in it to me. But I think with like record labels nowadays, you just make your own stuff and put your own stuff out.
Well,
I
you can. I tend to think that the older remedies are the best. Uh, I'm not going to tell you where I went for privacy reasons, but yeah, I actually went. Um, I actually did that. I actually went and dropped off a few of my demos over in downtown.
Nice.
So I guess we'll have to find out and wait and see.
Oh, wow. Good.
I
That's
was,
cool. That's old. That is old
I,
school.
I was like, it worked for Taylor Swift. It worked for Lauren Elena. I was like, it might work for me. We'll see.
Well, and it's fun either way to have that experience,
I
right?
know, it was fun. It was
That's
fun.
cool. And eventually in your biography, you disclose these things.
Right.
You tell us later where you went.
I know. I would love to write a book, and I was telling somebody, I was like, man, one day, I mean, I started writing a book, but the really frustrating thing, I lost like the template, not the template, but the outline for the first couple of chapters, because I had a teacher suggest that I would write a book about, just my story and my experiences and what I've learned and everything like that. And I was like, man, I never thought about that, but hey, that's pretty cool. And then I had another lady that said, she's like, I think it'd be cool if you wrote a children's book. I was like,
Wow.
huh, I don't know what that would be about, really. Brainstorm.
Well, obviously, it'd be you and music and your challenges. That
Yeah.
sounds like a great children's book, you know?
And I think it's really good for, parents, with special needs children
Yes,
too.
yes.
I think they would get a lot out of that.
Your story needs to be told. These stories need to be told.
Right.
Because the kids, yeah, remember you as a kid, imagine if someone handed you this book saying, oh, she became a musician, she became an astronaut, you know?
Oh my gosh, I was so, oh gosh, the Titanic in space were,
What?
yeah, my weird obsessions as a child. And I'm gonna be honest, I am like still a Titanic nerd, kind of.
I love it.
I'm being honest.
I
Uh,
love it. Leo for life, am I right?
yes. Oh
Leo,
God.
if you hear us.
Hi.
Huh? So I do have one or two more things, but one thing is the Grand Ole Opry. You perform with some of those performers I saw.
I don't. The grand.
I saw a whole list of people. I don't remember any names though. Well, you
Uh,
perform with a lot of people, right?
I I don't know what you read, but
Let me.
I haven't made it to the Grand Ole Opry yet.
No, hold on. You've had the privilege of performing with the Annie Moses band, I guess. Is that
Uh,
someone? Is that someone?
yeah. So they are. They're actually really great. I got to train under the Annie Moses band. So that was really cool. So basically, it's a family. And literally, it's a family band, and you should look them up. They are absolutely incredible, and they're just incredibly talented. And they started a nonprofit because they've had a lot of families come up and say, my child's a musician, and we're not, and we would love if you could possibly work with our children. And so that's how it all got started. They started a nonprofit, and basically what happens is you get to audition. They work with you for about a week, and then about a week, and you put on this really cool production with dancing and singing and instruments and stuff like that. So that was super cool, and it literally, I'll never forget, it felt like we had, because it was hours, like we had to sit there and work on this for hours. And you would have never guessed it was put on a week ago.
Wow.
So,
That's so they put care into the people.
and it was just so cool to get to work and learn, learn from really talented musicians.
That's awesome. The Annie Moses band.
Hmm.
So, one more question. How do you stay motivated through COVID, through life in general?
Honestly, I'm still human, and there's days where I'm not motivated. But I would definitely think, say, one thing that keeps me motivated, are the people that I hang out with, for one. And, you know, one thing I would think, I read that poem a lot that I'm going to send you. I read that poem a lot. I'll go ahead and tell you the name of it because it's pretty public. It's called Welcome to Holland, for those of you who are interested. I read that poem a lot to really keep me grounded and to keep an open mind, because none of this is for sure. And all of this is also temporary. And, you know, so I definitely do that. Um, I will say I have a great group of people around me to do that and to keep me motivated. And what, one thing I would definitely advise for people to do when they don't feel motivated is to just be around the people that are going to be your biggest cheerleaders.
That's
Like,
perfect. Yeah.
yeah, watch or read something that motivated you to get into what you're doing in the first place. You know, because sometimes you just need that reminder.
I love that. That
Yeah.
almost made me cry again, Carrie. Jeez. Jeez. Um, You're awesome. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your talent with us.
This was so much fun. Thank you for having me. It was so nice to meet you finally.
I know. We've been like trying for months and here we are. But let me know when you do something next. I always love to bring people on, like when you have a new song or whatever, just come back, you know.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
And you're very beautiful
Oh,
inside and out,
thank
Carrie.
you. Thank
Please
you.
keep it moving, all right?
All right.
Thank you so much. Have a great night, and I'll see you soon.
Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Bye, Carrie.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I see y'all there. I'm scrolling. Oh, what's up, Jess, Tara, John, Kenzie, a few other people. I can't keep scrolling, but thank you guys for coming. And is she an angel, Carrie? I can't wait to see her on the big screen. Thank you. Much love. Stay safe.